What is up, you guys? It's your favorite cutie, Mel, back again on my Soul Posh channel to give you guys yet another video. And it is Wednesday, so you already know what that means. I'm back with another chapter review. Today we're doing The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and we are on chapter 2. Thank you guys so much for all the love that I've gotten on the first chapter. I hope that we can all stick together through this book. It's one of my favorites. This is my second time reading through it, so probably won't be my last either. So let's get started. Chapter 2 is called How Your Mind Works. Whatever your conscious mind assumes and believes to be true, your subconscious mind will accept and bring to pass. Believe in good fortune, divine guidance, right action, and all the blessings of life. Okay, that's how we started off. I feel like this chapter is very self-explanatory, but it doesn't hurt to just always remind ourselves how our mind is working so that we can go ahead and correct the thoughts that we need to, so that we can live a healthy and prosperous life, okay? Your mind is your most precious possession. It is always with you, but its most amazing power will be yours only when you have learned how to use it. As we have seen, there are 2 levels of your mind, the conscious or the rational level and the subconscious or irrational level. You think with your conscious mind, and whatever you habitually think sinks down into your subconscious mind, which then creates according to the nature of your thoughts. Your subconscious mind is the seat of your emotions. That says a lot. It's the seat of your emotions. It is the creative mind. If you think good, good will follow. If you think evil, evil will follow. This is the way your mind works. So let's just start off by talking about the conscious mind, okay? So the conscious mind is the part of your brain that basically brings in information from your outside world. So whatever you're seeing, whatever you're hearing, whatever you're listening to, your music, the TV shows that we watch, the content that we consume on a daily basis, what we see on Instagram, what your mom told you this morning, what your uncle told you last weekend, all of that. So basically everything that we're interacting with on a day-to-day basis and seeing, our conscious mind is taking in that information, and with that information basically whatever we accept to be true or whatever we accept to be true or agree with typically will sink down into your subconscious mind. Another way that things get to your subconscious mind is if you are repetitive in thoughts. So if there's something that you're always thinking about, that you're ruminating on, make sure that it's something good when you can. I feel like as a human, you're going to have your thoughts that feel good, and there are going to be thoughts that are not so good. But if you can, try to always just think about lovely things. Think about things that you would prefer to happen. Not dwelling on what you don't want to happen, because that's still something. If you're continuously thinking about something that you don't want to happen, hate to break it to you, but that's a great way to kind of manifest it happening. So how many times have we heard someone say, oh, I just kept having this feeling, or I just kept feeling some type of way and I knew that this was going to happen, and it did. Whether that's for good or bad, it's going to manifest at some point. It's going to show up in your world because it's something that you habitually dwell in, the thoughts that you keep thinking, the feelings that you keep having. So even if there's something that is not even necessarily a thing, a person, a place, something that's said, if you dwell in a certain place habitually, say you're angry a lot, if that's where your natural resting place is, just as a vibe, that feeling that you habitually feel is going to sink down in your subconscious and basically manifest more opportunities for you to keep feeling that way. So whatever we feed to our subconscious mind, whatever it accepts, it basically produces an outcome from. So nothing is really random. And there's always a cause pretty much for most things. I'm not God, I'm not the universe, so I can't tell you guys how all this works. And it gets sticky when you think about some things that maybe you wish didn't happen to you and all that stuff, but or things that you wish you didn't have to deal with, whether it's poverty, whether it's bad health. It's hard to get into the weeds of those things, but basically this book is just telling us that when you dwell on good things happen. So that's just how that goes. So that's the conscious mind. So then going into the subconscious mind, that's the part of your mind that doesn't rationalize, the part that's not like at the forefront viewing the outside world and taking in information that way. So your subconscious mind is really like a garden. I like to think of it as a garden. When I read this book the first time, it also refers to it as a garden. So let's just think about that. So the seeds that we give to our garden can either be good, when you're thinking about good things, when you're feeling good feelings, when you're choosing to be positive about potential outcomes, those seeds get to planted into your subconscious mind and can bloom into beautiful things, like habitually finding ways to keep your energy up and finding things that make you happy. When you have more of those feelings, that can sink down into your subconscious mind and produce more things in your life that will give you those same blissful feelings. So the thing about the mind is just always remembering that these things, your subconscious mind is always producing either for your highest good and sometimes for your not. So it's really up to us to do the best that we can to curate lives, to listen to music, to watch shows, to take in content, to take in certain book content. All of that stuff is what you can choose with your conscious mind. We are in an age where we get lots of ads every single place that we go, especially if you're on the internet at any capacity. You're going to be bombarded with some things, but for the most part, you should try to focus on things that are positive. Try not to take in so many things that may potentially be negative. I feel like you have to live life. Like, no one could be perfect with this. And if you did, you probably would just drive yourself nuts. But for the most part, at least try to dwell in a happy place. That can definitely take you far. And focusing on health and, always seeing yourself as healthy when you're thinking of yourself in the future, thinking about yourself in the day-to-day, thinking about how you think about yourself. Do you see yourself as a healthy person? Do you see yourself as someone who is active, someone who is fun, someone who's confident? Like, how do you see yourself and how do you think of yourself habitually? And this can also work in different ways. So if you had negative perceptions about yourself, and sometimes we do, rooted in our subconscious because of things that we may have heard as children or people that we've interacted with, and just harmful things that we've taken in on our journey. Those things can be reversed too, but once you become more conscious, and this is why I also suggest meditation, because that gives you a time to get quiet and things can reveal themselves to you, and then you'll be able to meditate even on the things that happen in life. And you can just ask questions like, okay, so if this thing is happening in my life repeatedly, you can kind of reverse engineer it now, knowing how your mind works, and be like, okay, so if this keeps happening to me, or I keep running into this kind of person, whether it's positive or negative, what does that say about how I feel about myself? What does that say about who I'm being and who I'm attracting? And you can find out a lot about yourself that way as well. So if you guys are liking this breakdown, please definitely let me know by giving me a thumbs up in the comments. Let's move on. I think I pretty much did a good job of explaining the difference between your objective and subconscious mind. And if you need me to further clarify, let me know down in the comments. Okay. Let's see. So this is just saying the subconscious mind cannot reason like your conscious mind. The subconscious mind does not have the ability to argue or dispute what it is told. If you give it wrong information, it will accept it as true. It will then work to make that information correct. It will bring your suggestions, even those that were false, to pass as conditions, experiences, and events. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now let me continue. The sure way, let me back up. Everything that has happened to you happen because of thoughts impressed on your subconscious mind through belief. If you have communicated wrong or distorted concepts to your subconscious mind, it is of the most urgent importance to correct them. The sure way to do this is by repeatedly giving your subconscious mind constructive, harmonious thoughts. As these are frequently repeated, your subconscious mind accepts them. In this way, you can form new, healthier habits of thought and life, for your subconscious mind is the seat of habit. So this is why affirmations are also important. I remember the first time that I learned about affirmations. I was just, giving it a try. But through the books I was reading, I don't know if you guys have read Think and Grow Rich. He talks about the power of autosuggestion, which is basically using affirmations. Affirmations are just a positive statement about yourself or just in general. So it's important for me to do affirmations. I personally do affirmations every day, and I think that they have helped me transform in a lot of different ways about how I think about myself and how I think about the world and what I expect. And it's always a journey, so I'm not perfect, but I feel like there's always things that we can just continue to kind of just till the soil on and just refine. And even as you want different things, change your mind about things. But just saying something like, there's an example in this book about a lady who, I guess she was losing her memory. So when she learned about the power of her mind, she decided that she was basically going to affirm that she had a better memory. Through this, she did this day and night. It's good to do it 3 times a day if you can. Maybe when you wake up, maybe sometime in the center of the day, and definitely as you're drifting off to sleep at the end of the night, it's great to kind of go over some affirmations, because that's when your subconscious mind is the most accepting of new things. When you're kind of drowsy, when you're calm, that's a good time to try to impress your mind. So basically, yeah, she decided that she made a few affirmations, or just like a long statement, which is also like a long affirmation that she repeated to herself about how her memory was getting better every day. And after a certain amount of time, it manifested in her life that she didn't have problems with memory anymore. So we really are that powerful. And if you're someone who's like skeptical about something like this, I would say try it out yourself. So instead of like just saying, oh, that doesn't work, it's not that easy, how about you do it? Just try it out and see. Be your own scientist in your life and experiment and see if it works for you. And if it does, which I'm sure it will, because our minds work a certain kind of way, then you prove to yourself how you can change anything in your life that you don't like. So, and sometimes it's a process, because when you deeply believe something, you don't know how long it's actually going to take you to really in your heart believe it. So sometimes when you're saying affirmations, you don't necessarily believe them right away. But I guarantee if you continue to do your affirmations over time, at your own time, because your time might not be the same as someone else's, things can turn around and your subconscious mind will start working for you to produce new outcomes that matches that new belief. Okay, so let me see, we're at 13 minutes. I don't want it to get too long. I try to keep it about 15 minutes. Let's see what else I found. So yeah, this is the story. Do you guys want me to read the story? I pretty much already explained it, so I'm gonna read this one. How he overcame a nasty temper. I was consulted by a man whose marriage and career were both in serious trouble. Hugh D's problem was his chronic irritability and bad temper. He was concerned about himself, but if anyone tried to discuss it with him, he exploded in anger. He constantly told himself that everyone was picking on him and that he had to defend himself against them. To counter his negative autosuggestion, I advised him to use positive autosuggestions, which is positive affirmations, several times a day, morning, noon, and at night prior to sleep. He was to repeat to himself, and this is the statement, and you can write yourself a statement like this today and try it out for yourself. From now on, I shall grow more good humor. Joy, happiness, and cheerfulness are now becoming my normal states of mind. Every day, I am becoming more and more lovable and understanding. I will be a center of cheer and goodwill to all those around me, infecting them with my good spirits. This happy, joyous, and cheerful mood is now becoming my normal, natural state of mind. I am grateful. After a month, his wife and his co-workers remarked on how much easier he was to get along with. So, and another thing about affirmations too, if you're not someone who feels confident enough, or it makes you feel just the opposite of what you want to be feeling when you're saying these things, like say, you know, maybe saying I am a millionaire is too much for you because you feel like you just violently feel like that's not true and you feel silly. Then you could just say something like, every day my bank account increases, every year, every month my income is increasing, things like that. Whatever feels good to you and feels like just a suggestion about, you know, a positive future of what could be. You can also do positive affirmations that way. So that's really helpful, and that's kind of what he's done here. He didn't just go ahead and say like, I'm the happiest person in the world, but he said every day, you know, little by little, whatever is best suited for your belief, because it's the belief that helps it to really sink in and change your life. Okay, it says, have you accepted any of these negative suggestions? From the day we are born, we are bombarded with negative suggestions, not knowing how to counter them. We unconsciously accept them and bring them into being as our experience. Here are some examples of negative suggestions. You can't. You'll never amount to anything. You mustn't. You'll fail. You haven't got a chance. You're all wrong. It's no use. It's not what you know, but who you know. Oh, I hate that one. The world is going to dogs. So basically stuff like that. Let's see. What's the use? Nobody cares. There's no point to trying so hard. You're too old now. Things are getting worse and worse. Life is an endless grind. Love is for the birds. You just can't win. Watch out. You'll catch a terrible, you know, and you can't trust the soul. So things like this these are common things that people say all the time, and they don't even know that it's impacting their lives and what is possible for them and what they're creating. By accepting hetero suggestions of this kind, you collaborate in bringing them to pass. As a child, you were helpless when faced with the suggestions of others who were important to you. You did not know any better. The mind, both conscious and unconscious, was a mystery you did not even wonder about. As an adult, however, you are able to make choices. You can use constructive auto-suggestion, which is a reconditioning therapy to change the impressions made on you in the past. The first step is to make yourself aware of the hetero suggestions that you are operating on. Unexamined, they can create behavior patterns that cause failure in your personal and social life and financial life. Constructive autosuggestion can release you from the mass of negative verbal conditioning that might otherwise distort your life pattern, making the development of good habits difficult or even impossible. And that's where I'm going to end. So make sure you guys get this book for yourself. Or like I said, it is on YouTube. Different versions are on YouTube that you can read and for free, audiobooks. And it's always linked down in below if you want your own hard copy. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in again. If you like this, like I said, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear all about this book all the way to the end. We show up here every single Wednesday, and I'll see you guys next week. Mwah.